It's an investigation you'll only see on ABC15. A road becoming a graveyard for motorcyclists. You can see why. We've got a lot of their thrill-seeking on camera. Hundreds have crashed, dozens have died, all on this one stretch of highway.
And tonight, ABC15 investigator Dave Biskobing exposes exactly what bikers are doing and how it's putting you in danger.
For bikers, Yarnell Hill on Highway 89 is both famous
I've ridden it more than 100 times.
and infamous. And when crashes happen,
Typically very bad. Dismembered limbs, you name it.
it's a 5-mile stretch south of Prescott that's become a graveyard for motorcyclists and dangerous for other drivers.
He slid off the road and he crashed into a guardrail.
Karen Wilson lost her ex-husband Robert on Yarnell Hill last February. They were still close friends. Riding in a pack, his bike began to wobble, then lost control.
They said that he was still breathing, but very shallow, and when the paramedics came, that he was not anymore. I had probably 2 days that I spent more or less in bed and more or less in, not in reality.
State transportation reports show that Yarnell Hill is the worst place for crashes in Arizona. After checking 10 years worth of crash data, the ABC15 investigators found there have been 250 crashes on the road, killing almost 24 people, and the vast majority involve motorcycles.
It's caused by two events.
The first, inattentive or inexperienced riders.
So they're just driving off the edge.
And the second,
The sole intent of racing.
Department of Public Safety Sergeant Dan Larimer patrols the area. He says almost every day you can catch bikers in the act.
You'll see them weaving back and forth, warming up their tires.
Our cameras caught this motorcycle doing the exact same thing. Officers say it's what bikers do right before they race.
They're coming through there at 80, 90 miles an hour.
In that tight turn, 80, 90 miles an hour.
Yes.
The speed limit is 45 miles per hour. And on the curves, the recommended speed is even lower, 30. So we took our own radar gun to see for ourselves.
52.
And watch bikers speeding by, getting faster
57.
and faster
69.
and faster until we clocked a pack of 5 coming off a sharp curve.
71.
More than twice the recommended speed, weaving in and out of traffic, putting other motorcycles and cars in danger.
It's like driving a bullet. It's going to go in a pretty well straight line. And if there's a car in front of you, well, guess what? You're going to hit it.
I've seen a lot of guys get caught up in the group mentality.
Brian Streetick has been riding Yarnell Hill for decades. He says the problem isn't the road, it's riders who don't know their limits.
I think that you have to know what you're capable of. It's a sport that lends itself to pushing it, and I think that we all do.
To push back, officers say the only way to slow racers down and keep motorcyclists focused on the road is to be out here more often. The problem is, they don't have the officers to do it. On a typical day, DPS is only 1 officer per shift to cover the entire 250 square mile area surrounding Yarnell Hill.
As soon as you're gone, they're right back at it. And it's just a continuing problem.
That's the color. That was his favorite one.
Karen keeps Robert's ashes in this chest, and more than a year later, she still hasn't gone to the spot where he died.
It's not a happy place, and it's you kind of relive things. You picture it in your mind.
She remembers the day an officer came to her home and told her Robert was gone.
There has been an accident, and he, tried to comfort or tried to, help, and then he left, and you're left alone with that.
Officials admit that crashes here are a big problem and more needs to be done. We just found out they're getting ready to spend $5.3 million in federal grants to make major changes to the road, plus spend an extra $100,000 to get more officers on patrol. At Yarnell Hill, I'm investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC 15 News.